This is a Roma red tomato. They originate in Italy, but they're cultivated all over the world now. They're oftentimes used in sauces because of the low water content. Usually when you cook with these, you have to use a knife. Obviously this knife is not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but that's alright. Knives dull, it happens. That's why we have to sharpen our knives. Your brain is like this knife. It dulls. Sometimes you gotta sharpen it. The good thing about knowledge and information is it's endless. Your knife can always get sharper. My career field probably offers more opportunities for continued education than any career field out there. I have unlimited opportunities to continue to sharpen my knife. I regularly attend in-person trainings and seminars, webinars, and large business conferences. Last week I spent some time in Omaha, Nebraska at one of these training conferences. There were nearly 200 other agents there, all eager to sharpen their knives with knowledge. There were tons of different people there with decades of experience in the field, with knives sharper than that of a katana. They were awesome enough to let me ask them a couple questions that will help people I talk to every day sharpen their knives. This is what they had to say.
Awesome. How long have you been in the insurance industry?
39 years.
About 37 years.
34 years.
19 years.
28 years total.
Started at 19, so I think this is my 16th year.
For people going into retirement, retirees that are retiring now, what piece of advice would you give them?
Always do a lot of research on your own, but definitely get a professional to help you. There's so many options, and if you go down the wrong path, it's going to be harder the older that you get to be able to fix those things. When you know you're going to retire, find somebody and do a lot of research.
I think that probably the most important thing is to get some help. You know, there's a lot of complex decisions that you're going to have to make when it comes to taking Social Security, delaying Social Security, what you're going to do with Medicare, types of secondary coverage, post-hospital care. Tough things to navigate by yourself, so find an expert and get some help.
First of all, I would say that they need to find an expert. All the changes that happen with insurance and investments and life expectancy and all those sorts of things, I would just encourage people to have a person that they trust and a person that is sort of an expert in that field.
I would say that there's so many changes that are happening. You need a professional to muddle through Medicare and everything else. Never try and do it on your own.
Trust your gut. I know the issues you face as a retiree are scary. I know they're overwhelming, but trust your gut. If you're not sure about something, ask questions. When someone comes to your house, do your research, know who you're dealing with. But if they present you with a plan and you do your research and the plan is valid, go with it. Okay. Make the tough decisions. Take the path least traveled. Be prepared. Unlike so many other retirees today who are not prepared.
Let them know that there's 4 things they'll worry about when they retire. Current medical expenses, extended care medical expenses, final expenses, funeral costs, lingering debt, about making sure their retirement lasts as long as possible. Those are the 4 things that keep retirees up and they think about every day.
So you would tell them to find somebody that knows how to work in all those areas.
Exactly. Somebody who knows how to do a good fact-finding presentation, develops a good rapport, somebody they trust and can deal with, understandably, and just have a frank discussion about where they stand on those issues.
For younger people that are preparing for retirement, what would you tell them?
Well, the sooner you start investing, the more money you'll have, number one. Make good decisions, just like I would tell anybody, especially with your money. Life insurance is always cheaper when you're younger. If you buy the right type of life insurance, you get it forever, it doesn't change. And as you get older, be aware that stuff like long-term care, disability, all that stuff is needed more as we get older.
I would say the most important thing is success is a marathon, not a sprint. You have to get a little bit better every single day. You have to manage your income. You have to manage your expenses. Those are the things that cause people to sort of achieve the goals that they have in their life. It doesn't happen by accident. That's the biggest thing, is that people think, oh, that guy got rich or that guy didn't get rich or that sort of thing. You just have to have a plan, and it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Start saving as much money as you possibly can right now. There's nothing more powerful than the power of money over time. If your employer has a retirement plan that offers a match, make sure you qualify for it. Always put in enough to get the match, but don't put all your money into tax favorite, as they say, vehicles, because later on tax rates may be much higher than now because of the deficit, and they may not be able to take that money out at a favorable rate.
I would tell them to start investing. I would tell them to pay themselves first, I would tell them to try and build wealth and not just have a big bank account. And I would tell them that it's time to get some long-term care.
Figure out your finances first and then figure out what you can save. Try to pay yourself first. Take advantage of things like Roth IRAs. Those are very good starting vehicles where you're at least putting some money away. And then also, if you work in a job that has a 401k or something like that, try to max that out as much as you possibly can.
Focus on growing your nest egg, right? You have a lot of choices when you hit retirement if you've done a good job planning for retirement. So find a way to pay yourself first by investing 10% of what you make into some sort of safe vehicle, whether it's pre or post-tax dollars, I really don't care. But make sure you pay yourself first before you do anything else.
What policies and products do you have that you utilize that you would advise other people look into?
Well, in my case, I'm retired military, so I don't need a supplement for Medicare. That's provided for me. I do have a long-term care policy that I bought 30 years ago when I understood the risk, and I got it at a fairly good rate back then, and I still have it to this day. And I also have quite a bit of my money, now that I'm older, in annuities, because I wanted to reduce my market risk to quite a large extent. So nowadays, we have all the turmoil in the markets, and when these things happen, I don't have to worry about it because my annuities are sitting there very quietly, and I always tell myself and my client, you'll never get a letter saying you made 20% this year, but I'll also never get a letter saying I lost 20%. In the older marketplace, annuities, I think, are a very good option for people to save money.
So you need to have health insurance in place. You need to have your investments places that are equal to your risk tolerance level. So I have lots of different investments in the stock market. I'm 59, so I have some of that. I also have lots of different investments in very conservative investment areas. I'm not a big risk taker, so I'm actually pretty conservative. And then the other thing, which is a big thing, is long-term care is a big issue. Most people don't like to think about or deal with nursing homes, home health care. Really, home health care is the kind of the thing that people would prefer. If something happens and somebody has falls down and breaks a hip or something like that, they need some help for a period of time. It's super expensive, and people just don't want to think about it, so they really don't protect themselves for it, and they really should. The other thing is we're all going to die. I guess the biggest thing is some people it's a burial cost, and for some people it's estate planning. They've got a larger estate. They want to make sure the money or assets go to the right people. So there are ways to do that, and people need to look at all those things. And again, these are things that people, as they near retirement, they really need to look at all of those things and have somebody they trust to help them do that.
I have all of them. So I have a cancer policy. I have an annuity policy. I have life insurance. I have universal life insurance. I have term insurance. I have health insurance. I have all of them. I have a cancer policy. I don't know if I said that, but I have all of them because they're all important. Insurance is something that's super important for everybody. It doesn't matter what the age is. So we make sure we're insured.
Well, I have lots of life insurance, more than I probably just should tell my wife I have, number one. I have long-term care insurance. I've had it since 1992. I have disability income. Obviously, I have health insurance. I even have an umbrella policy.
On myself, I actually have life insurance to cover my family. If something happens to me, they'll be okay. I also have cancer policy, believe it or not. Cancer runs in both sides of mine and my wife's families. So, my father told me a long time ago, he goes, I buy the insurance to hope to God I never have to use it. In this case, I hope that the chain breaks as far as the family history and either me or her end up with cancer, but if we do, there's some money there to help us out with those expenses.
I have life insurance, obviously, to take care of my family if something were to happen to me. My family has life insurance. We have long-term care built into the life insurance. So if we were to have to go to a facility, we have long-term care coverage or home health care, regular health insurance.
So there you go. These people have nearly a century of experience combined. Their knives are about as sharp as they get. Did any of this information help you sharpen your knife? If so, definitely reach out and let me know. And if you have any questions about anything mentioned in this video, feel free to reach out on social media or any other way that you can.